Off camber igniter right here, just to show off to you my 2014 Cannondale Trigger 4 29er. So I bought this bike just a couple months ago for a great steal. This was almost a $3,500 bike back then, and I bought it for $1,000. It was in brand new condition. The person who had it barely rode it, barely any scratches on it. Very nice frame, as you can see from this good triple butted aluminum frame, very high quality. Almost looks like carbon. You can barely see those welds there along the stays and everything. So it's very cool. Anyway, just to start off with the things that I've replaced on it so far, I replaced the Cannondale grips with some DMR Death grips in the Tango Orange. These are the soft and thick, so I like those. They have a much better feel to them than the other grips. I have the orange water bottle holder, just to emphasize a little bit of the orange on this bike, since orange is my favorite color. I have changed out the front tire. It's actually a Maxxis DHR2, so it's supposed to be a rear tire, but I don't need the width, the DHF for the trails I'm currently riding. I might get a DHF once we get a little further into the summer, as the conditions get a little looser, but this has worked for me so far. So to start off with the suspension, let's just go through that. So this has a RockShox Revelation 130, and this back here, as you can see, is a Diode RT2 Fox shock, this is especially with Cannondale. Only Cannondale has this shock. It allows you to adjust the travel with just the flip of the switch up here. So currently it's in short travel mode, which is 80 millimeters of travel in the rear. But when you open it by clicking this button, I just opened up the full 130 millimeters of travel, since it's a 130 by 130 mil travel bike. And you just press it back in to get to the cross-country mode of 80 millimeters travel in the back. And for me, it pretty much turns it into a hardtail when I do that. It climbs super efficiently. And this fork also locks out super well, so I can still ride it on the road and whatnot, just like my hardtail previously. It's actually faster than my previous hardtail on road, and that's more of a concept that's slightly lighter. It's a 31.1 pound bike without pedals and with pedals that I have on it. I forgot to mention this. These are the Shimano Saints. These are about 1 pound pedals, so it brings the bike to all about 32.1 pounds. So it's pretty good overall. It's got the SLX drivetrain, the SLX shifters, and SLX brakes. As you can see right here, the brakes are 180 in front, 180 rear. It's got the 3x10 drivetrain. It's got this is the 40, 30, and I believe it's a 22. Very tiny cog right there. I hardly use the first gear, except when I'm really tired going up the super steep climbs, but hardly ever use that. This is 1136 rear cassette. The front derailleur is a Shimano Diori though, but it performs almost like an SLX, not too much different. So this Wolverine tire, the Wolverine tires that it comes with originally stock, I don't really like this. I did not like this at all as a front tire. That's why I replaced it. But as a rear tire, it's really not that great for me either. It doesn't give me too much grip. And also, I noticed on pavement, it makes a lot of that sound and gives you a lot of buzz. Like some other tires, such as like the Maxxis Ardent Race, which is pretty much just as knobby, and it gives you just as much grip, but it doesn't have that as much rolling resistance, I would say. So that's what I'm thinking of getting for the rear tire. Just make it a little faster bike, since to me this is just like, more of a long travel XC, or more of a trail bike. It's fully a trail bike. I can turn this into slightly enduro, as you can see with this switch. Currently it's a 69-degree head angle, but once I flip the switch back here, when I sit on the shock, or when I sit on the saddle, it compresses the shock and it makes it a 68-degree head angle, which is more of a trail bike. But that 69 is more of an XC bike, so just flip it back there, more XC. So about the Revelation fork, it's not as stiff as most other 35 millimeter stanchion forks. This is a 32 millimeter stanchion fork. it performs pretty well for me for the trails I go on right now. However, I have thought of replacing it with something such as like a more budget option, but like something more of a DVO Diamond, which has the 35 mil stanchions, 150 mil travel. Not quite sure if I really need that much travel, but it's an option. I was looking to RockShox Pike, but on the internet you can get the DVO Diamond for $600, and the Pike you can't really get it below, much below $800. So I'm looking into the DVO Diamond right now. You also get those pretty cool yellow caps on top, so kind of digging that. I'd like to change them to orange, but not quite sure if you can. Anyway, so this is how the bike's looking right now. I also like this WTV Volt saddle. It you know, relates to the bike color pretty well. Although I don't know, for the comfort, for looks wise, I'd say it's pretty spot on with the frame. But for comfort wise, it's not the best saddle at all for going on long day rides. I don't know too much about saddles at all, but I would say the Nebula that came on my previous Trek 8.4 DS was much more comfortable. So I'll just give it that. So I'd highly recommend get a new saddle too, but that's it. I have not got a dropper post on this yet. I've been thinking of getting one since the day I bought it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, since there's so many different types of dropper posts, so many different prices. I don't think I want to get the RockShox Reverb. It's about $400. I'd be looking into more of the $200 price range. So just still trying to kind of figure that one out. Yeah guys, so that's the bike. I hope you like it, and I'll see you around next time. Off Camber Igniter, out.